All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to completely change how you look at the written word. Today, we're exploring a really fascinating workshop on critical reading, and the core message is just brilliant. Every single text you read is actually a mystery waiting to be solved. You aren't just a passive reader, you're a detective. And in this explainer, we're going to unpack the exact tools you need to crack the case. So, to get us started, think about this deceptively simple scenario straight from our source material. Sarah walked into the office and everyone was talking. Now, on the surface, it's just a basic statement of fact, right? But as a reading detective, we have to ask, what is really happening here? Why is everyone talking? And what does this actually tell us about Sarah's character and her relationship with her coworkers? It's a tiny sentence, but it's loaded with potential meaning. Today, we're peeling the onion of textual analysis. We'll be looking at the mystery of Sarah, decoding the hidden context, a concept called poison in the honey, evaluating multiple valid perspectives, and finally, the power of textual evidence. All right, part one, the mystery of Sarah. Looking at that one single sentence, the participants in this workshop actually had a fierce debate about what was really going on. I mean, on one hand, is the room buzzing because Sarah is a highly respected supervisor and everyone is snapping to attention or discussing work? Or on the flip side, is she an outcast? Are they gossiping about her the exact moment she steps through the door? It's the exact same sentence, but two entirely different realities. While the educators came to a pretty crucial conclusion here, the literal words on the page, they simply aren't enough. You literally cannot just read that one sentence and know the absolute truth. You are required to analyze the surrounding context, the surrounding paragraphs, the tone of the chapter, the character's history. That is where the actual story lives. Which brings us to part two, decoding the hidden context. If we really want to master reading comprehension, we have to track the writer's methodology step by step, almost like we're reverse engineering a magic trick. Step one, you read the surface statement. Step two, you identify the initial tone. For example, an author might start off with a super encouraging, uplifting tone. It feels nice, right? But step three is where the real detective work happens. You have to critically ask, what is their ultimate hidden effect? What is the author actually trying to make you feel or believe, despite the surface-level niceties? Moving on to part three, poison in the honey. The workshop highlights this absolutely brilliant Arabic idiom, poison in the honey, or sam fi al-asal. It's a perfect metaphor showing exactly how writers can mask their true motives. The surface text is the honey. It's sweet, it's encouraging, it draws you right in. But hidden inside that sweetness is the poison, a negative, subversive, or just entirely different underlying message. As readers, if we just blindly consume the honey without thinking, we swallow the poison too. We have to be vigilant. Next up, part four, evaluating multiple valid perspectives. So what exactly happens when two readers look at the exact same text but find completely different hidden meanings? Take the frustration case discussed in the workshop. Imagine a text where a character is clearly frustrated. Student A might look at that and see deep pessimism. They see a character who is just totally giving up on the world. But then student B looks at that exact same frustration and views it as ambition. They see a character who is angry with the status quo and is intensely driven to improve things. Two totally opposite conclusions drawn from the exact same emotion. Now here's the kicker the educators pointed out. Both of those interpretations can be entirely correct. Yeah, really. Reading comprehension isn't always about one single, rigid right answer. But, and this is a massive catch, their validity depends entirely on justification. A student isn't allowed to just guess. To be correct, the reader has to move from a gut feeling to providing concrete proof from the text itself. And that leads us to our final section, part five, the power of textual evidence. Let's apply this to a specific hypothesis from the workshop. Say a student claims that the character's frustration is directed at the political system. They think the hidden intent is anti-establishment. Well, as detectives, we have to immediately ask, if the character is frustrated with the system, does the author actually provide evidence condemning the government right there in the text? And in this specific workshop example, the answer was a resounding no. The educators noted that the author simply didn't bring any evidence expressing government negligence into the text. There were no clues, no specific complaints about policies, nothing. And because that hard evidence was missing, that specific interpretation completely falls apart.
You can't just invent a hidden meaning because it sounds smart. If the proof isn't on the page, the theory is dead.
So, the ultimate verdict of our reading comprehension detective story comes down to this core principle. Yes, you are required to analyze the context. Yes, you absolutely must look for that hidden poison in the honey. But every single hidden meaning you uncover has got to be anchored by concrete textual evidence. You can't just rely on your own outside assumptions. The text is your crime scene, and the evidence has to be found at the scene. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with something provocative to think about. For everything you read today, whether it's a novel, a news report, or even just a quick email, the next time you read something, ask yourself, are you just blindly consuming the sweet honey on the surface, or are you acting as the detective, critically searching for the hidden poison beneath? Keep your eyes open, look for the evidence, and never stop decoding.